Hiya, Lovey. How are you? If anyone's on the live, it says I'll see you in 5 hours. Everyone, I'm here. Where's my stars? I'm here. I got this light and it's a bit too bright. So it's even got an umbrella. That needs to be moved. It might just drop on my head. But it doesn't matter. What matters is we're going to be doing mystery time with wine today, people. And it's a serious one. It genuinely is. And I've done my research. I'm going to turn one of these off, that one. And I'm going to turn another light off. I did try practicing the lights, people. So, excuse me very much. Sorry. Let's just, I don't want to really damage anything in my property. So, we're going to be doing a mystery time with Wayne. And today, people, we're going to be talking about Disney. Can you all hear me? So, welcome all. All my content is found on the public domain. I operate using the fair use guidelines together with my own opinions, which are not necessarily true. Gosh, it's really bright. Shamz don't care. So, I hope that you're all alright. What it is, we all know about Disney, don't we? Everybody, regardless of whether you've got children or not, everyone has heard of Disney. Hi, everyone coming in. And with Disney, it goes back a long time. I mean, we talk about Walt Disney and things like that. But the Disney that I'm talking about today is not Walt Disney, people. It's the Disney Channel. Yeah? And if you're thinking, Shams, what are you on about? The Disney Channel. Right. Everyone sit back, relax. And I will tell you, thank you. Not feeling. We haven't done a mystery show in a long time. And because everything's a mess, I do want to do it professionally. So, the lighting isn't too good, everyone, and I'm very sorry about that. I should have got the black umbrella out. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not about what I look like. It's about listening. So we have done some research. I'm very sorry. I'm just going to turn that off because it's a bit stupid having that on. Sorry, everybody. Whoa. So, here we go. Everybody ready? This is Mystery Time with Wayne. If you're just joining me, I am Shamz Don't Care. We do a lot of things on this show. And everyone that is watching now, if you can't write, it's only because it's members only. Because sometimes it gets a lot, like, too many people come on. So, it's just like, I've got the paying members, so I can just give them a shout out, like, Journey by Tarot, hiya, honey. I hope you're alright, Laurie K, I hope you're alright, and everyone else that comes in. So today, we are going to be talking, yes, about the Disney Channel. I don't know if you lot have heard of it, but I'm pretty sure that you have. Okay. The Disney Channel, it was started in the 1980s. The idea was pitched in the late 1970s, yeah? And it was pitched by a man. I'll have to get my papers out, people. This is where Shamz has to get clever. It was pitched by a man called Jim Jamiro in the 1980s. Well, in the late 1970s, he pitched it, an idea that he wanted a family show because he didn't think that there was a family show that everyone could like affiliate to. That, you could have males, female, every kind of genre, ages, that could watch a show, we sit down on a family night together on a Saturday night or whatever night and watch a show. So what he done was he decided to pitch an idea, and the idea was called the Disney Channel. Yeah. So with this idea, the Disney Channel, I mean, it has started a lot of great careers. I have to say that. Okay. But it has also done a lot of damage to people's career, and that is what we are going to be diving into today. The deep dive of what they don't really tell you about the Disney Channel and how it has damaged a lot of people. It has done a lot of good, but it has also damaged a lot of celebrity stars, and it's not the image that we thought. So like I says, in 1980s, in the early 1980s, a gentleman called Jim Jamiro, he was like a producer and a director in Hollywood in California. He decided to pitch an idea for Disney. Hi, Monster Art. He decided to pitch an idea for Disney, and it was around the same time that there was opening up, all the Disney rides. So we had the ones in Florida and that. Bear in mind, I'm in England, so we're not talking about the Euro ones, because that opened up later on in the 90s. We're talking about the ones in Florida, which opened up in the 80s. There was two of them. There was Disney World and Disneyland. Yeah? So can everyone hear me? There was Disney World and Disneyland. And we had a gentleman called Jim Jamiro that pitched an idea to all the networks to say, shall we have a channel for Disney? And they all laughed at him in the late 70s. But then they went ahead and they gave him the go-ahead that same year. And when it started, I mean, everyone, they have like a little pitching point. And theirs was a commitment to bringing you and your family the kind of quality television you'd be glad to welcome in your home. So basically, yeah, like they said, they wanted to make a commitment, yeah, of making programs, of bringing you and your family, so it's to satisfy everyone, the kind of quality television you'd be glad to welcome in your home. So it's something that you think you can trust with your husband, with your children, with your, all your family. You're right, Tammy Ann? I hope everyone's okay. So it's something that you would think that you would trust with everyone. Fair enough, I was all for that. And like I says, there was good points to all this, do you know what I mean? They've launched a lot of careers. Them people that haven't got money, they've given them money. They've given people that didn't have a lot of money fame, fortune, a lot of things like that. Roles that you could never have dreamed of. But then, like I says, Shamz isn't going to do a mystery time with Wayne. Hi, Sparkles. I'm not going to do a mystery time with Wayne unless it's a real mystery, am I? So this is the mystery, people. When I was going into it, I found out, hi Viking Queen, I found out a lot of things. Because like I just said, we have fame, we have the fortune, they've launched a lot of careers of a lot of stars like Miley Cyrus, they've launched people like Zendaya, Shia LaBeouf, Selena Gomez, Bella Thorne, the Jonas Brothers. There's thousands, millions more. But when it first started back in the day, this is where we got to go. Back in the day when they first started, yeah, in the 1980s, the Californian laws that they had was that anyone between the age of 2 and 6 can only work 3 hours a day. And anyone under the age of 2 years old could only work 2 hours a day. So what the Hollywood executives thought was light bulb moment, twins. And that's why you will see, thank you, that's why you will see a lot of twins. You've got Mary, is that the door legs? Mary Olsen's. You've got the twins that are still, sorry, the twins that are starring in Zach and Cody. And there's a lot more other twins as well, do you know what I mean? But what they used to do is, because of the errors in the Californian laws and Hollywood, they had to literally have twins. So when one was a bit grumpy, or after the two errors or whatever errors was up, they could swap them round. So identical twins was a forefront of what people wanted. So does that make sense why a lot of the Hollywood people and a lot of Nickelodeon and Disney people, they wanted anyone that was literally, do you know what I mean, identical twins, because it saves a lot of money and a lot of time. So that's one thing. But with the Disney, we all know that Disney is about children. It's about image. You have to keep a certain image when you work in Disney, okay? Now, a lot of people don't know, like, how strict the image is, yeah? And with this image, like I said, they have launched a lot of people that have gone on that you know right now, or your children or your grandchildren might know. There's a lot of programs like That's So Raven. That was like one of the first black programs that was launched. That's So Raven was one of the first black families launched on the Disney Channel. So one thing about Disney is it did do a lot of diversity. So we had a lot of males, females. It had a lot of black, Asians, you know. But they had a lot of stipulations and rules that a lot of people never knew about. Now, do you want to know what these rules are? I have everyone coming in. There's a lot of rules. I'm going to tell you just a few of them. And some of these might shock you, some of these rules. Everyone say hello to each other. Get yourself a beverage. Welcome. We haven't done this for a long time. So if you're just joining me, this is mystery time with wine. You don't have to have wine. It's any beverage of your choice. But this is Shamz on a professional level. So anyway, I'm going to carry on. So is everyone okay? Don't forget, if you do like so far, press the like button, share, all that. So Disney did have a lot of stipulations because they had a certain image to uphold. And a lot of people don't know, once you've signed that contract, you've signed literally, I can't say you signed your life away because like I've said, they've done a lot of good for a lot of people. But once you've signed that contract, it has got a lot of rules and stipulations. Now I'm just going to read out some of them. Like for example, for females, you have to keep your nails short and plain, yeah? You have to have the perfect figure. You couldn't just have a drastic haircut. You couldn't go from long to short because of the character that you was playing. So if he's playing a certain character like Hannah Montana and she had a certain hair, you could not just go from Hannah Montana like longer and then overnight, boom. Do you know where I'm coming from? For males, you had to keep your facial hair to a minimum. So no facial hair. And what you've got to understand is there was a big age gap because a lot of people that was in their 30s and 20s were playing teenagers. So a lot of people of our ages now are playing teenagers. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. So, yeah. So, there was also things like no smoking. They could smoke, but if he was playing a certain younger character in a Disney program, they could not have you be seen doing things like that. Does that make sense? Um, Even things like training to sign your autograph. They had to train you to sign autographs because you couldn't just do, because you've got to sign so many autographs a day. You've got to do it properly. So you had to sign so many a day. So they did have you. You couldn't just have scribbles. Um, your behaviour as well. The clothes that you wore on the program were the clothes that they also made you wear outside of the program to uphold an image. Does that make sense, everyone? Then your social media posts, like nowadays, years ago, they didn't have social media. I am going to go on to a lot more than this, but years ago, they didn't have social media. But nowadays, anyone that's working for Disney, they monitor all your social media posts because you have to uphold an perfect image. And that's another thing. You can't really get a lot of jobs because of that image that you've signed up for. And that's why you find a lot of people like Miley Cyrus and, a lot of other people that go from one place and boom, another. And you think they've gone off the rails. They haven't gone off the rails. It's just the fact that for years their image has been withheld in because of the contract that they've signed. And they've got to keep that perfect image. Even in interviews, if someone says something to them, they've got to act dumb. One of the Jonas brothers had an interview and he says, when they was asking me in interviews certain questions that I knew I was not allowed to answer, I used to think about my dog and I used to go, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. There was so much that I could go into. Things like, even when I was talking about the Jonas Brothers, they wrote their own song lyrics. They tried to go off on their own. Couldn't happen. Outside projects had to be approved by them because once you signed a project, you had to have a certain image. So any outside projects that you done, if you done any other acting work, you had to have a certain image. Does that make sense? Also, there's so much. You had to pay for things like, the Musketeer ears. If you broke any of those, you had to pay for them. Those was like $50. There's so much. But those were the rules at Disney. Those are just some of the rules I'm reading to you. There's plenty more. So, in America, like I said, this is where Disney is made, okay? So in America, like I was saying, they have all these child stars. They like to regurgitate them. They like to use a lot of twins because it saves a lot of money with the laws. But in 2012, now we're going to get a bit seedy now, and I'm going to be dropping some names. So it's going to be a trigger warning for people coming up, okay? So I'm going to be warning you now, there's a trigger warning, but not yet. So in 2012 in California, there was a law that was passed for everyone that was working in the child industry, that if you didn't have a direct contact with that child, it's called the AB 1660 law. AB, that's like alpha beta, 16, the number 1660 law, okay? Look it up. It's to protect child actors, okay? And in that law is for anyone that is anyone that is with a child that is unsupervised. That's like a talent agent, a photographer, a videographer, like someone that is not their mom or dad, or, they have to have they have to be fingerprinted and also be FBI checked, their background. Now, what we found out was in 6 years after this law was passed, Deadline concluded an investigation that said that 17, of those states still have not registered. Why have they not registered? But it gets worse, people, so it's a trigger warning. So they have not registered to protect these children against anyone violating them. It's not just violating in those ways, it's violating in many other ways. But 17 of those countries, the last time we checked, that was in 2021. Sorry, I didn't do my research because it is 2022 and I should have done that. But there was only 292 people that was registered. Hi, Current, you all right, honey? There was only 292 people that was registered. So 17 out of those 50 states are still having child actors, child workers, and exploiting them. And nobody in this day and age are doing nothing about it, people. And this is to this day. So let's move on. Like I said, if anyone knows anything about Disney programs, you probably have watched some yourselves, or you've got grandchildren or children of your own that have watched a lot of them. And a lot of these people, like we've got actors, publicists that have exploited children that have exploited other children. Do you know what I mean? Because they've tried to pit other people against each other. 22 kids. Sorry, is everyone okay? Is everyone okay? This is going to be the trigger warning now, okay? So this is when we're going to get deep. Like I said, it is mystery time with Wayne. We're not going to be too long now. I'm sorry if I'm keeping everyone long. But like I said, with Disney, even though there comes joy and there comes a lot of... On the Disney Channel, you'll hear a lot of things that they have been trying to hide from us. And it's not just about... I will be telling you about some of the... We're going to use words called CA. Yeah, they're child, not very nice people. That does things to children. We're going to call them CAs. Okay. And then we've also got people who've been in this industry that have been pushed this hard, that have suffered from drug abuse, that have took their own life. They've gone to heaven. And there's alcohol abuse as well as other kind of abuses. Right, so let's start off. Trigger warning, people. So, in this industry, like I said, they're supposed to have these laws to protect these children. The AB 1660 law. But I will start off with a man called Brian Peck. He starred as a mirror in Zack and Cody. Now, I would suggest a lot of you do your research on Zack and Cody. That will tell you a lot about the Disney industry and what they've done to children. Now, Zack and Cody came out very fine, but even they got financially abused. But luckily, not other ways. Hi, Sunshine, how are you? So, if everyone wants to know about that, look at Zack and Cody. So remember, trigger warning, anyone. We'll start off with Brian Peck. He starred as a mirror in the program Sweet with Zach and Cody. And do you remember, if you go back earlier, I told you how Hollywood uses twins because it's cheaper to use twins because of the Californian laws and the errors. And because of that, I was quite surprised that Disney had hired him before and after he'd been convicted of CA in 2003 with the Nickelodeon star. And he actually admitted to doing it. So yes, Brian Peck, he played the mirror in Zack and Cody. He actually played a few other things. Then moving on, not just Brian Cody, I will tell you about other stars. We've also got an actor called Phil Lovey. He's a black actor. I think he was also in that program. It's Sweet with Cody and, you know, the twins. But he was, he actually killed someone in 1991, drink driving. And after that, he got a job working. Now, I'm not saying that if you've had an accident, but that's not an accident. And all I'm saying is, these people are actively doing these things. Now that one, I will name, fair enough, Demi Lovato, she punched someone on a plane and she blamed mental health issues and breaking down because of the pressures that the Disney team were putting on her. So, you know, that was another one. Then we've also got, there was a program called High School Musical. I don't know if you lot have ever heard of it. There's a lady in it. The original was called Geek Charming. There was a lady in it called Sarah Hyland, and she actually dated an actor in it called Matt Prokop. Yeah, and this Matt Prokop, they dated for 5 years on and off, and she actually had a restraining order as well as other abuse cases against him. Now, this gets deeper, that Disney are hiring all these. I'm not even naming half of the people, but there was also someone that Disney hired, if I can read my own writing, called Joshua Norton. He was in The Prince and the Pauper. And even though he's changed his name now, he's moved to Canada, he's a real life actor, he's moved to Canada, and he's changed his name. Yeah, he pleaded no contest to giving alcohol to an underage and SA. Then, now here's a crutch of it. Victor Salva. I don't know if you lot have ever heard of him. Victor Salva is very big in Hollywood, aren't you, Victor? He done 3.5 years for, I can't say that. I've got to say he done 3.5 years for just S offence. Yes. And while you done it, and it was very vile, the offence, but while you done it, you wrote something for Disney called Powder, didn't you? You wrote something called Powder. He actually based Powder on his experience in prison and what he got locked up for. And when Disney, everyone went a bit angry about it, Disney actually done a little speech to say, well, what happened 8 years ago is nothing to do with the movie Powder. There's a lot more movies, people, to do with Disney. And what I want to know is why the Disney Channel are allowing children to be around people like these. They're abusing children. Miley Cyrus, she had not just Miley, there was Demi, there was Selena, a lot of other people that have had issues with their weight, just like me, and nobody says anything about it. And all they've done is made them feel disgusting about not conforming to a certain weight, a certain style, a certain colour. Now, one thing is with Raven, I have to say that Disney, because of the errors, California laws, there was only supposed to do like 65 episodes. So if everyone was wondering why is my favourite series cancelled, it was because it was only supposed to do 65 episodes. Then when Raven came out, she broke the record. So if you're wondering why she done more, we don't know. She broke the record. But even she was constricted because of her sexuality. So everyone, that is Sham's little deep dive into the Disney Channel. There is a few more things that I could have gone into, but I really don't want to get into a lot of trouble. I mean, I could even talk about the controversy of the Writers Guild. I mean, when was that? I think that was in 2000. But even if the writers or the people that wrote for Disney, they had a bit of and they quit. So even when they quit, that means everyone that was writing on the program, everyone that was acting on the programs, all the producers and everyone, they didn't have no money coming in. But the thing is, Hollywood, you wasn't paying Disney, you wasn't paying those people enough. You expected them to sit there writing and you was taking all the praise. And that's what is getting people up in arms nowadays. Do you understand? And that's why people are doing deep, dark dives. You're allowing essays, and CAs to come to work alongside children. You're exploiting the errors that children are working. Miley Cyrus was the star of Hannah Montana, and she was the lowest paid on that episode. She was the lowest paid in the series. Could you make that up? So Disney, what is going on? Anyway, everyone, I hope you did all enjoy Sham's little, hi Charlotte, but I'm off ski now. Everyone, I hope you did enjoy my little deep, dark dive. It's only been 33 minutes, but thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Take care, everyone. Say bye to each other. Bye.